What's the estimated cost of deportation, mass deportation? A one-time $315 billion estimated cost for mass deportation includes arrests, detention, legal processing, and deportation. Not talking about the fucking optics that are going to happen, kids in cages. Here's a quote from an employer that hits home. Quote, "Everything is the wild, wild west. Just watch and wait for a statewide mandate for E-Verify. And then hiring is about to get very, very expensive. And long-term recovery will be catastrophic if you," talking about employers, "aren't stacking your bench and protecting home base. You're going to be doomed."
Hide your kids. Lock the doors. You're listening to HR's most dangerous podcast. Chad Sowash and Joel Cheeseman are here to punch the recruiting industry right where it hurts. Complete with breaking news, brash opinion, and loads of snark. Buckle up, boys and girls. It's time for the Chad and Cheese podcast.
Gobble, gobble, and pass the mashed potatoes. Hey, boys and girls, it's the Chad and Cheese Podcast. I'm your co-host, Joel White Meat Cheeseman.
This is Chad. Give me that stuffing. Sowash.
And on this week's episode, forget the Macy's Day Thanksgiving Parade. We've got all the Jive turkeys you need. Let's do this.
At Shaker Recruitment Marketing, our comprehensive services include branding, talent attraction, MarTech, and analytics, empowering you to achieve your recruitment marketing goals. We believe in doing things the right way, delivering the right message through the right activation, achieving the right conversion. For us, business is deeply personal. Our legacy is built on relationships. Together with our people, clients, and partners, we've been shaping the world of talent for over 70 years.
Hey, look, sit down, all right?
It ain't cool being no jive turkey so close to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So close to Thanksgiving.
That obviously from Trading Places for the kids out there that don't know it.
Yes.
One of the few Thanksgiving.
If you don't know it, go watch it.
Oh, go watch it. Jamie Lee Curtis is worth the whole show, if nothing else. Jamie Lee Curtis. And Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd are pretty good too.
Yeah, they're not bad. Yeah, they're not bad.
Yeah. So I woke up to 29 degrees here, Chad, in the Midwest. You look like you're a little more comfortable there in Portugal.
Yeah, it's a little sunny here. So we're ready. It's currently what we'd like to call 20 degrees. That's in Celsius, my friend. It's around 70-ish, but it's pretty nice. Took a nice little walk out by the boardwalk today. Last night actually had kind of like a pseudo Thanksgiving with all my buddies who I play paddle with, beer, burgers, just a bunch of food, but we have a real Thanksgiving coming up with a couple of Americans and then also just a variety of people from different countries happening on Thursday.
That sounds like a Friendsgiving, Chad. Sounds like you had a Friendsgiving. Now, were those turkey burgers?
No. We got turkey coming. Coming. So, yeah, we just had the burgers. Hey, listener. Hey, I'm seeing here that you're watching every single week. Yeah, I know YouTube, Google, they have these analytics things, and you haven't subscribed yet. I don't know what the problem is. Hopefully, it's probably Joel. I know it's probably Joel, but it's okay. It's okay. He's not here right now. Just go ahead and click subscribe. Click subscribe.
So, in the States, turkey is all over the place. Every grocery store, it's easy to find. Is it tougher to find in Portugal?
Oh, yeah. And you're not going to get those big genetically altered.
Like the steroid freak turkeys. Yeah.
You're not getting those. We don't have pardons over here. We don't need any of that shit, right? Because we're, turkeys on the menu, just not often.
So many turkeys. They have free turkeys places. Like spend $100, we'll give you a free turkey. Like there's tons of free stuff. I'm almost thinking like we should give away free turkey on the show, but I think the shipping of that would be way too much of a headache. So we're sticking with the easy stuff. In case you guys don't know, this is our Jive Turkey episode. We'll explain exactly what that means later, but this is a little bit unconventional. We're going to skip shout outs. And we're going to, I guess, pimp our sponsors here real quick. So, Chad, not free turkeys, but we've got free stuff. Tell them what they can win by signing up.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking about maybe next year doing, because we can do Instacart, do free turkeys through Instacart. Anyway, we'll talk about that.
If you'd like to sponsor that, please message us.
Talk to us. If you want to win free stuff, kids, got to go to chadcheese.com/free. You can win t-shirts, those glorious Chad Cheese t-shirts with Aaron on the back, sponsored by Aaron App. Bourbon barrel aged syrup from our buddies up north. That's right. Canada. At Kiora. Then we have beer from Aspen Tech Labs, craft beer delivered to your doorstep. That's right. Be careful. You might see Cheeseman dropping off beer. Whiskey, 2 bottles of whiskey, 2 bottles from Tex Colonel / our friends at Bullhorn. And if it is your birthday, it is time for rum with plum, but you can't win unless you play chadcheese.com/free.
Yeah, right now? I know I can. I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
That's right, Chad. Celebrating another trip around the sun. Listeners, Mason Wong, Nicole Adamson, Chris King, Neil Dunwoody, Deborah Schaugengarten. I probably mispronounced that. Frederick Patton Thomas, Toomey, Anan Natarajan, Dina Pero for Pyros, Steve White, Claire Davis Connell, Michael Goldberg, Susan Burns, and Alex Murphy all celebrate another year around the sun. And by the way, Chad, we've been crushing the bourbon giveaways lately. We are crushing, like, people are getting some good shit, is all I'm saying. We've upped our game on that.
That's all we do.
Bullhorn and Tex Colonel, thank you.
Great. The best syrup, the best beer, the best whiskeys, the best t-shirts. I mean, come on, kids. That's why you got to go to chadcheese.com/free. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
And also the best football results. Unfortunately, last week just sucked ass because it was bye week.
It was bye week.
But it obviously didn't hurt me as much as I thought it would.
Yeah, I need some of the good bourbon because I took a little hit this week. I slipped from the number 1 spot again. Factory Fix endorsing and sponsoring our unhealthy habits. This is your leaderboard heading into, I don't know, was it week 13? We got 3 weeks left until the playoffs. Your leaderboard looks like this. Dean, the Daddy Mac Mackerel, the man from down under, is on top, ladies and gentlemen, showing us Americans how to do this thing. I fall to the number 2 spot. Still pretty comfortable with my playoff chances. I was beaten by number 3, David Stiefel, this week. The week is tough. This is a tough week to win. You got a lot of people off this week. You're in the number 4 spot, Chad, with a bullet. Liked what you did this week. Christy Lisbon, Jennifer Terry Tharp, Laura Martinelli, Keith the Commish Sonderling. I got him this week. Number 9, Action Jackson Dahlquist. Number 10, Dina Pero for Pyros. Number 11, Sean Horton Here's a Who. And oh my God, who is it again?
Welcome to All Things Scottish.
Not again.
If it's no Scottish, it's crap.
Adam.
If you need help, go to YouTube. It's a new site.
Adam.
Search fantasy football help. And it'll tell you how to take someone from a bench to the starting lineup. It's not rocket science, my friend.
It's simple.
Here's to you. It's an international sandwich. We got Aussie on top.
Click a button.
We got Scotland on the bottom. Embarrassing the country greatly. Well, okay. So normally we would do news here. Yeah. But our Jive Turkey show, we're mixing it up this year. First of all, I want to say, what is a Jive Turkey? In the course of bringing on some guests this year, we've learned that maybe not everyone knows what Jive Turkey is. So I went out to ChatGPT and I said, define Jive Turkey for me. So it's slang popularized in the 70s. And it means basically someone who's full of shit. I added the shit. It's more like full of it because ChatGPT is proper like that. Or not genuine, AKA someone or something that's just a sucker. That's just just bad. Okay, so
we're gonna get you,
so this year we're gonna do 2 turkeys each, Chad and I, and we brought along some of our friends in high places or low places, depending on who it is, to chime in on their turkeys, their Jive turkeys from this year. So we got Lieven from House of HR. If you listen to our Euro show, you definitely know Lieven, and he was on our weekly show a week back. We got Emmy Beredugo again, another consistent guest on the show, and Mo Clough. Did I say that correctly? Clough. Yeah, just Mo. That's all I know. Mo, just Mo. Mo is what I know.
We're rebranding her as Mo. That's the rebrand.
I like it. It's easy. Okay. I like easy, Chad. I like easy. Easy. All right. And without further ado.
Hey, look, sit down, all right?
It ain't cool being no Jive turkey.
Turkey!
So close to Thanksgiving.
All right. So I'm going here. My first Jive turkey of 2024, the Artful Darger, Art the Dart, the modern art masterpiece, Art Zeal, CEO at DHI, more commonly known as DICE or clearance jobs. We'll focus mostly on DICE here because that's the main property. When Art took the reins back in 2018, the stock traded at around $1.75 a share. Today, Chad, it trades, wait for it, at about $1.75 a share. So in 6 short years, Art has been able to move the stock not whatsoever. So way to go, go, Art. Yeah, what's more, the CFO just left. The whole thing is riddled with incompetency. They've published in 2024 a total of, wait for it, Chad, 5 press releases. They've done 5 press releases as a public company in 2024. And the last PR that they dropped was in April. So I don't know if they've just took the year off or what. While every tech company on the planet is getting more efficient, DICE has increased its operations staff in the last year almost 100%. Operations, not development, not sales. What? Operations. Yeah, that's kind of a mystery to me too. In 2023, they had a market cap of $145 million. Today, that market cap is $84.5 million. And I'm not really good at math, but I know that 84.5 is less than 145.
No,
so
you'd be right.
Art has had 6 years to turn this thing around. And it's still a pile of steaming dog shit sprinkled with cat turds. This Jive turkey is totally cooked. Unfortunately, no one wants this job, so it looks like we're stuck with Art for the foreseeable future. But this Jive turkey is to you, Art. It's fun watching the demise of a once great job board.
Wow. And I wonder what his salary is because, I mean, they've done nothing, so he deserves nothing. I mean, seriously.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Meanwhile, on the quarterly earnings report. Oh, God.
All right.
You're still invited on the show, Art. If you want to come on the show and talk to us, you're more than welcome to defend yourself.
Yeah. Well, I want to know. I want to know about the first time he said he'd come on the show, and then he ran out the back door at TA Tech.
You dumbass.
Anyway, okay, I'm gonna get my first one done, and this is might be a surprise to you, Joel, but my first Jive turkey goes to ZipRecruiter. Yes, that's no surprise, no surprise whatsoever. As you all remember, reported by the AIM Group earlier this month, ZipRecruiter's revenues declined by 25% year over year, with a net loss of $2.6 million compared to a net income of $24 million in the prior year quarter. Zip recorded its second net loss in 3 quarters, while competitors like Indeed are reporting gains. Then last week, you're going to love this, Timothy Yarborough, Zip's EVP and Chief Financial Officer, we know them as the CFO, sold over 6,012 shares of Zip Class A stock, which adds to the amount that he sold in October when little Timmy sold 6,013 shares. Yeah. October, November, selling. So when the CFO starts selling off shares in tranches, like this, you got to wonder about the health of ZipRecruiter, or maybe he's just buying a super deluxe Joel Cheeseman-like swimming pool for the backyard. Who knows? But remember, kids, we're not financial planners or experts here on the Chad and Cheese podcast, but the optics aren't great when Zip is poising for stock buybacks. Revenues are experiencing a downward spiral. The CFO reportedly sold shares in October and November. Plus, there's no way in hell Zip's AI-powered savior, Phil, can save ZipRecruiter from me giving them a Jive turkey this year. Jive turkey goes to ZipRecruiter.
You're not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe?
Definitely Jive turkey. Come on, Recruit Holdings. Write a check. Bring them in the fold. ZipRecruiter, Glassdoor, and Indeed. The trifecta for sure. You failed to mention, Chad, and I had to check this because I knew this was on your list of Jive turkeys. You remember the Talent All-Stars podcast that ZipRecruiter launched this year?
Oh my God.
Yeah. How could you forget? It's lighting up the airwaves. Right? It's lighting up the airwaves. So this thing launched in August. This is a public company with about 1,500 employees. As of August, they have 17 ratings on Apple. They have 6 ratings on Spotify, which means the kids love it. The kids are loving the podcast. And on their YouTube podcast channel, they're generating, after 11 videos, I think, an average of 100 views per show. And they did one with FedEx that was sort of the lion's share of views.
Oh, wow.
Everything else is in that 35 to 50 kind of range. But they should be really proud with what they've put together. They must be emailing all their employers and all their job seekers to check out the show because they're getting such traction on this podcast. If you want to learn how to do a podcast, we're available. We'll take your money. We do advisories. We'll do some consulting. We'll help you out. Don't worry. Oh God.
It just blows my mind. Like anybody wants to listen to a CEO or
the president, I think is
president
doing it, yeah.
Or anybody in the C-suite, right? Talk about their stupid fucking company every month. I mean, they just don't. Right? It's all bullshit. It's all fluff. Nobody cares. But you're right. For them not to be able to at least harness all of the marketing power that they have, they look like total idiots. They look like total fucking idiots. So yes, that's just an additional on top of the Jive turkey list.
They look like total Jive turkeys, Chad. And with that, we'll take a quick break and come back to our guests, Jive turkeys of 2024. Yes.
So you posted a new job ad. Now you can sit back and wait for the applications to roll in, right? That's why we built JobPixel. Imagine showing candidates why your company is great with real people, real stories, and real culture. With JobPixel, it's not just another job ad. It's an invitation to something much bigger.
Video gives you a 3 times better response rate. So instead of chasing after candidates, they'll be coming to you.
And with a 34% boost in conversions, candidates aren't just looking, they're applying.
And if you're worried about people clicking away, don't be. Our videos reduce bounce rates by 25%. That means they're watching, they're engaged, and they're interested.
282% more engagement. Yeah, you're gonna need a bigger inbox.
Finding the right candidate is tough, but with JobPixel, it doesn't have to be. Show your company's authentic story, and the candidates will follow.
Let's make recruiting fun again, because honestly, it could use some help.
Do you want to see how JobPixel can save you time and money while achieving your KPIs? Schedule a demo today.
All right, I'm excited about this.
I love the guests because it means we do less work. I love it. Yeah, the fact that we can get some other voices. I mean, what I meant to say was it's nice to have some diversity of thought and some new opinions on here. So
except for Sergey and Trisha, who do all the production work, they've got more work to do now. We love you guys. We love you.
Yeah, that's true.
We love you.
Yeah.
Trisha deserves
Happy Thanksgiving.
not a jive turkey,
Trish.
but a nice big plump jive turkey, and so does Sergey. They both deserve
celebrating Thanksgiving. I'm sure
all the trimmings.
Yeah. So Emmy Beredugo is up first. You know her from guesting on the show for a couple years. Yep. She's out in the UK, so we wanted to get a little international flavor with our guests this year. So from the UK, this is Emmy Beredugo.
Hey peeps, let me start off by saying happy Thanksgiving to those who are celebrating. I really hope you have a good one. So what's my Jive Turkey for 2024? Well, I'm calling out those organisations who are mandating return to office policies. They're getting a massive thumbs down from me. So let's talk about this growing trend. Worryingly, I'm seeing more and more organisations, especially the bigger ones, sending a not so subtle message to their employees. That message is get back to the office or wave goodbye to your promotion. Now, here's the thing. Despite all the data that's supporting flexible working arrangements, I can't shake the feeling that if we're not careful, these return to office mandates might become the norm rather than an exception. So why is this happening? Well, companies are throwing out all kinds of reasons, from better collaboration to improved connectivity and an environment where employees can actually grow their skills more easily. But is that actually the truth? Now, I like to think it's what I call executive nostalgia. So this is where senior leaders, they yearn for the good old days of water cooler chats. And maybe they're reminiscing about how they built their internal networks and rose through the ranks because of this. But times have changed. If these execs want their organizations to keep succeeding, it's not their employees who need to conform. It's actually the leadership who need to change. They need to change their mindset. They need to upskill themselves so they now know how to lead a flexible workforce. And why do they need to change? Well, first of all, there isn't enough data out there that shows that in-office work leads to better outcomes. In fact, there's loads of data showing that it aren't even leading to higher profits. And there's also plenty of data showing that forcing employees back to the office can have a detrimental impact and can actually hurt productivity, morale, retention. So who is it impacting the most? Well, carers get hit hard. Not everyone has the help to juggle caregiving responsibilities. So if you force them back into the office, this just adds unnecessary strain. Introverts struggle. Crowded office spaces, they just aren't energizing for everyone. For some, they're actually really draining. Neurodivergent employees lose out. So many neurodivergents thrive in environments where they can manage their own time in a quiet space, and work from home setups often enables their best work. Then you've got people with disabilities. Accessibility in a home setup can sometimes be far better than navigating a commute to the office, and an office that, even if they go to, might not even fully accommodate their needs. And then you've got that commute themselves. Those people who live far away from the office, that return to office mandate isn't just inconvenient, it's actually exhausting and wasteful. So if organizations know all of this, why are they doing it? What's the point? I mean, surely they're not that stupid, are they? Well, if you ask loads of employees, that answer is clear. It's a lack of trust. Some leaders just don't trust their teams to be productive if they can't physically see them. And here's the reality. Most of the time, people are commuting to sit at a desk, throw in their headphones and do exactly the same work that they would be doing if they were at home. So, make it make sense. And let's not gloss over the fact of what some people are actually quietly thinking. Some people believe that a few organizations are using return to office mandates as a sneaky way to reduce headcount. And that's called quiet firing, forcing people out the door without having to physically fire them. But if they keep doing this, if they keep eroding trust, these organizations are just going to be running on borrowed time. So here's my message to those Jive Turkey companies out there who are enforcing return to office mandates. Fix up. Get better, listen to employees, change with the times, build trust, let go of all these outdated models of what work looks like and focus on what actually matters, the results. Because here's the truth. Good employees are good employees, whether they're in the office or remote. And mediocre employees, well, they'll be mediocre wherever they are. So that's it from me today, peeps. Until next time, don't be a Jive Turkey. Happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.
Amen, sister. That's what I'm talking about.
Emmy Beredugo, everybody.
She hit all the points. She did a really good job in hitting all the points. The thing that drives me crazy about this is that she was right with regard to managers needing to train up and to learn. I mean, we've got to evolve, not just as workers, but also as leaders, and they aren't. But it's also exposing all of these companies who are not focused on outcomes and completion of tasks and projects, because those can be done anywhere. Not to mention, you can also see if it's happening or not anywhere. And I'll finish up with this. Spotify Chief HR Officer, CHRO, Katrina Berg stated, quote, "You can't spend a lot of time hiring grownups and then treat them like children," end quote.
Wow. I like that. And in light of Spotify, a few other companies that are tech companies are doing the remote only. Shopify, Airbnb, Deal in our space is also getting some highlights from that. So shout out to them for doing the right thing. And let's name some names. Emmy's way too polite. And by the way, our show sounds so much smarter in a British accent. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Let's talk about Amazon's Andy Jassy. Let's talk about Disney's Bob Iger, JP Morgan's Jamie Dimon, and your favorite, the D to the J Saul, Goldman Sachs, a few of the companies that are mandating
Fuck that guy
back to the office. So we'll name a few names. And don't forget Eric Schmidt, former CEO of Google, who is blaming Google's decline on work from home, while some other tech companies are doing just fine with all that. So thanks to Emmy for chiming in. I don't know who you want next. You want Lieven? A little Lieven love? Let's do let's do Mo. Let's do ladies first. Maybe.
Give me some Mo.
Give me some Mo. All right. Mo is in paradise, apparently.
She's in Hawaii.
She's in Hawaii. All right. Let's hear from Mo.
Now, if you don't know me, I have a podcast all about the experience of getting older in the corporate world, and Indeed pulled a really massively poor move this year. They had a career guide that was up on their website for literally over a year. And it had a list of what you should be doing per age in your career. And let's just say some of the ways that they put this were just slightly offensive, all right? So your late career, as Indeed, the largest job site out there in the world, said started at 45. And they said between 45 and 55, you're in late career. And during that time, they suggest that you should stop learning and look for a successor. So a little bit insane. And then they also said that the age after that, from 55 to 65, they labeled that as the, quote, decline era. Well, guess who's in decline? Their own CEO, Chris Hyams. So obviously incredibly offensive. This thing sat on their website for ages. It's like, tell me you don't employ people over age 40 on your editorial content team without telling me you don't employ people over age 40 on your editorial content team. Hugely offensive, totally ridiculous. I posted about it on LinkedIn. The company actually got back to me, to their credit. They apologized. They took it down. They were like, dude, our bad. However, they did not come on my podcast to actually talk about it, even though they expressed interest. I almost had someone from the C-suite on the It Gets Late Early show to talk about this, but unfortunately their crisis comms team said, you know what, actually, hell no, they're not going to show up to that. So anyway, all this is to say, Indeed, you definitely really messed up this year with that, and I will say kudos to you for trying to make it right, but I am left wondering, did anything actually change internally, or did you guys just get caught and look bad, and so you did what you should do, which is apologize and change it? So questions remain. But anyway, that is my turkey, or whatever you guys are calling it this year, and I'm hoping that more companies will realize that being uninclusive when it comes to age is just stupid, bad business. So signing off.
Stop learning.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Why do you hate seniors, Chris Hyams? Why do you hate seniors is what I want to know.
He is one. Apparently he is one.
He is one. He's way over the hill. What's funny about this is Indeed tries so hard to be like the Marvel heroes, the Avengers of diversity, and they end up like looking like the destroyers of diversity. So come on, man. And I love that she brought
saying
up
the quiet part out loud.
Yeah. Did they just get caught? And they have a crisis comms team. Why don't they call us? Like, why don't they? Like, I don't get it. Why? We're not that bad. We're not that bad.
Yeah, they know better. They know better. Yeah, I think. Well, it's that. And thanks so much, Mo, for taking Indeed. So I didn't have to, but I definitely have to point out the failed programs that they had this year that they tried their ass off of, PPA, PPSA. But kids, I want you to know, and this is what I tell my kids: when you stop learning, you're dead. I mean, you're done. your brain atrophies, your body atrophies, everything. You got to keep learning. So don't listen to Indeed and their 18 to 25-year-olds who are writing content over there who got caught with their pants down.
And keep living large like Mo. Good Lord.
Oh, yeah. Way to go, Mo.
I used to want to be you. Now I want to be her, for God's sakes. All right, let's get to our favorite Belgian, Lieven. What's he got to say in regards to his turkey?
My turkey goes to the Dutch government. Approximately 1 in 5 workers in the Netherlands is self-employed. And according to the Dutch government, that's far too many. So they try to push them all back into full employment. Self-employed individuals are being demonized and flexible contracts are becoming increasingly expensive and cumbersome. And why? Because freelancers in the Netherlands don't pay enough social security taxes compared to fully employed people, the Dutch government feels. But this is 2024. People need flexibility. You don't have to reduce the number of self-employed workers. You have to check why you think something is wrong with being self-employed and fix that. You have to make sure self-employed individuals retain the advantages of flexibility while still contributing their fair share. But of course, it's easier to be a turkey and just change legislation.
Stupid shit from a European's point of view. Gotta love that.
Yeah, well, I mean, so it's interesting because just what Emmy was talking about, but this is at a different angle, right? So you have companies who are saying you got to get back to work. And that is there are a variety of reasons why companies are doing that. But the Dutch government's doing it for a singular reason, and that's because they want more taxes. So why don't they change the tax scheme if that's the issue, as opposed to trying to force people back into the damn office? That's just weird.
Or make it more appealing for people to immigrate and easier to immigrate to the Netherlands. That might be a solution that would work. I think that may be on your agenda for a conversation.
Who knows?
After we come back from the break. But Europe's going through some shit, like higher retirement age in France. England's not letting anybody in. All the people are leaving because they want to be in the EU and not in the UK. So all kinds of fun stuff that you are living from Portugal.
In the EU.
In the EU. Well, thanks to our guests. We appreciate that. It's a little bit of flavor on Jive Turkey episode here. Let's take a quick break, and Chad and I will get to our final Jive Turkeys.
Hospitality is the heart of our society. It brings people together to share great food, drinks, and experiences. But successfully managing a restaurant or hotel is no easy feat. That's where Harri comes in. Harri is the frontline employee experience platform that helps you build, manage, and engage great teams. With Harri, managers can easily find and hire top talent, manage timekeeping, and communicate with employees at any time from any place. Candidates and team members can quickly and efficiently apply for jobs, swap shifts, and access important information entirely from their mobile devices. And Harri's robust employee engagement tools make team members feel more connected than ever. With Harri, as an owner or operator, you get a bird's eye view of your business, from turnover cost, labor cost, employee sentiment, compliance risk, and team performance. Run your business better by understanding the power of your people. Because when your team is the heart of your business, Harri is the heartbeat. See how it transforms your business.
All right, Chad, hit them.
Save the best for last, kid. So this one is going to be very clinical. Okay, so sharpen your pencils and listen up. My last Jive Turkey goes to something that seems to be on the horizon with the next administration and will directly impact recruiting, retention, and funding infrastructure, just for starters. So my last Jive Turkey goes to mass deportation. What's the estimated cost of deportation, mass deportation? A one-time $315 billion estimated cost for mass deportation includes arrests, detention, legal processing, and deportation. Not talking about the fucking optics that are going to happen, kids in cages. The longer-term plan will cost $1 trillion. What's the impact? This is the thing that really matters, guys. According to the American Immigration Council, mass deportations could have significant economic impacts, potentially reducing annual GDP by 4.2% to 6.8%, which means we'd be negative GDP. Negative GDP. How do we lose GDP? Another great question. Thanks, listener. Here's a quote from an employer that hits home. Quote, "Everything is the wild, wild west. Just watch and wait for a state wide mandate for E-Verify. And then hiring is about to get very, very expensive. And long-term recovery will be catastrophic if you, talking about employers, aren't stacking your bench and protecting home base. You're going to be doomed. End quote. So what's being said here? How are employers going to backfill positions when the people just aren't there? The aforementioned reference to hiring getting more expensive is really simple. When the supply of talent is lower, there aren't enough people in America to do the job. You're going to have to start getting into bidding wars, and cost is going to increase substantially. Also, California, Texas, and Florida house 47% of the undocumented workers. Only almost 50% are in 3 states. Oh, and guess what, kids? California is ranked number 1 in GDP for the United States. Texas is ranked number 2 in GDP for the United States. And Florida is ranked number 4 in GDP for the United States. Why is that? Well, fuck, guys. Immigrants are the U.S. superpower. That's why we've made it so well so far, and we were able to bounce back after the pandemic. Here's a great example, though. This from the National Immigration Forum. The construction industry required over 500,000 new workers in 2024 alone to meet development goals. Construction is one of the key industries that cannot satisfy their labor needs with only native-born workers. Roughly 30% of workers in the U.S. construction industry are immigrants. In states like California and Texas, number 1 and number 2, the share of construction workers are 40% immigrants. 40%. So let's talk about tax base. This from the Institution of Taxation and Economic Policy. Undocumented immigrants paid $96.7 billion in federal, state, and local taxes in 2022. Nearly $100 billion in taxes. $59.4 billion go to the feds. 37.3 go to state and local government. So that money will be sucked out of your local communities, meaning less funding for police departments, less funding for fire departments, less funding for schools, health services, and roads. Again, just to name a few. And as you always say, Mr. Cheeseman, who will do the work and pay the necessary taxes when a big cohort like, the boomers leave the workforce and start collecting Social Security? That's a double whammy. Mm-hmm. Leaving the workforce, we need people. Social Security, that's money going out. We don't have revenues coming in. So who's going to do the work? Who's going to pay the taxes? We're pushing $100 billion in tax revenues out of the country, and we will not have enough workers to cover those jobs and the loss in revenue. So last but not least, remember when COVID hit and we didn't have enough workers to work the docks and the supply chain fell apart?
Essential workers.
What happens when we don't have enough workers to work the docks because we deported them? My Jive Turkey goes to mass deportation. You think it was scary having immigrants in the U.S.? Well, it's fuck around and find out time, kids.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
By the way, Chad didn't mention our interview with Zeke Hernandez. Yes. I'm showing the book here if you're watching us on YouTube. But if you haven't read The Truth About Immigration by Dr. Zeke Hernandez, we encourage you to read it and also listen to our interview that we did with him just a few months or weeks ago.
Believe the numbers, don't believe the bullshit.
Don't believe the hype. That is Chad's last and final Jive Turkey of 2024. So my last and final Jive Turkey of 2024, Chad, one of the more interesting stories that we've talked about on this show is the sort of journey from Black Lives Matter, Me Too, the movements, COVID, DEI taking a front seat in the dialogue that we've had on the show and with our guests. And that started taking a turn for the worst last year, but it kind of has hit a crescendo in 2024. We know that the Supreme Court struck down affirmative action, and we kind of predicted on this show that not only colleges but corporations and other entities would start taking that as a green light to trash DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. So to name names, and we've talked about a few of these on the show over the past year. Tesla, of course, Walgreens, Anheuser-Busch, Disney, Bumble, of all places, American Airlines, JP Morgan Chase, Boeing, Walmart, of all people, announced today that they would be canceling their budget for DEI and some of their staff along that. And like some of these I get for political reasons, like John Deere, it's just their customers don't want it, so they do it. But Walmart is for everybody. So for Walmart to like disassociate themselves with diversity and inclusion, to me, is just a really sad state of affairs. Obviously, Donald Trump is back in the White House, so I suspect this will continue to be an issue in 2025. Part of the good news is, and we've talked to some folks on the show about how this is still going on. People still approve of it. It's just being rebranded by companies. They don't want to say DEI. They want to say something else. Johnny Taylor, your boy at SHRM, was in the headlines this year, I think, is changing it from DEI to D&I. Okay, sure. So for me, like the big jive turkeys are all the companies that are abandoning DEI and promoting it and publishing it for political reasons. That's a sad state of affairs, but that is the state of affairs in America, everybody. We got a lot of jive turkeys.
And look, sit down, all right?
It ain't cool being no jive turkey so close to Thanksgiving.
Which brings me to my Thanksgiving-inspired dad joke, Chad. Are you ready?
Jesus, yes.
Why did the cranberry blush? Why did the cranberry blush?
No clue.
Oh, that's a good one. Why did the cranberry blush? It saw the turkey dressing. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thanks to our guests for chiming in. We out.
Yes, we out.
Thank you for listening to, what's it called? A podcast. The Chad. The Cheese. Brilliant. They talk about recruiting. They talk about technology. But most of all, they talk about nothing. Just a lot of shout-outs of people you don't even know. And yet you're listening. It's incredible. And not one word about cheese. Not one. Cheddar. Blue. Nacho. Pepper Jack. Swiss. There's so many cheeses and not one word. So weird. Anywho, be sure to subscribe today on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. That way you won't miss an episode. And while you're at it, visit www.chadcheese.com. Just don't expect to find any recipes for grilled cheese. It's so weird. We out!